Hello and welcome to Emperor, your career life talk, brought to you by Emperor and Emperor Amsterdam. It's a social enterprise that helps professionals that are employed or unemployed. And this live talk, Empower Your Career, meets twice a month to discuss different ways to develop your career, to start, for example, your own business or get a promotion or go back to the workforce. This month's theme is Fall and Get Back Up. And today we are going to discuss refresh your network. My name is Anne Gelebar. I'm a life and career coach, and I help people who want to have a good career, a successful career, and also time with their family. It's all about balance. So why I was appealed to moderate today is because I find that networking is really a way to meet new people. Like it's quite fun, and it's also helping you to get what you want because you're gonna meet new people who know people, and then something that you dream of is going to happen. Today. And yes, if you're watching, please leave some comments in the feed and we will get back to you at some point during the chat. And I would like to introduce you to our three speakers that are coming from all over the world. Valeria Pagano, she's Italian and she's actually based in Barcelona. Sherry Ramatian, and she's now based in Amsterdam and was in the Silicon Valley for a few years. And Jan Khan, who is based in Amsterdam and is here and has a lot of sales expertise. Welcome. And so, yeah, you want maybe to say a quick word, say hello to everyone.
Hello, hi, hello, ciao tutti. Okay, I just managed all my four languages. Go ahead. I have to brag, guys.
Yeah, so, well, one of the first question I have for you guys is, what is your personal journey within this topic, and how this networking has helped you where you are? So maybe you want to give a bit more information about who you are and explain a little bit how you're using networking.
Sure. Should I start? Because
I can.
I'm not shy. Okay, hi everybody again. So I'm Valeria Pagano, currently living in Barcelona, coming from, I'm Italian, lived in Germany for 15 years. That's why I don't have the typical Italian accent. And basically I give you an overview about my career and how the networking actually helped me a lot. So I've been, during the last 10 years, I've been working in a lot of fields from e-commerce, big data, gaming, affiliate marketing, and I have on my CV a lot of experience. Sometimes I wasn't able to keep my job. So I think it's like the core of this topic. Sometimes it happened that it was like a new restructuration, or we lost the client, but I have to admit that sometimes I wasn't suitable for the job. Even if I was putting all the energy in all the tasks, it happened that the relationship didn't work. I'm just using the word relationship because I love to think about the job as a relationship. I love relationship. You start all with enthusiasm. You think it's a forever. You fall in love. You just, you grow into that part. But sometimes the relationship doesn't work, and one party, two or both party, or just you have to, split. You have to break up. So the first thing you do when you just break up, when you start, you just find yourself without a job. There is a lot of going on. You with your personality, with no hats, like anger, and just going over and over in what you did wrong, what they did wrong. So a lot of wasting time. One thing you do when you break up is to talk to your friends. In that case, like every time it happens, I was talking to my friends, which happened to be my network. So I have, during the years, I've been building new networks based off friendship and long-term relationships. So the first thing I was doing, it was stopping lying to myself and starting to ask for honest feedback. So, and you said before that the network is useful to people that know other people, but for me was something more introspective and thinking about using them to get a feedback and figure out what wasn't going wrong, because they give you an input. So one of my experience, I was my last working experience before Team CIP was as sales manager, was head of sales. So I just contacted my network, so people that were using so working with me, and I asked, okay, what do you think? How was my work? Because I was miserable, I wasn't happy. And they were like, oh yeah, you're a super caring, super amazing person, but you really suck at sales. I mean, there's nothing you can hide behind. and then it hit me, and it was actually true. I really suck at sales, and as head of sales, it's not a good thing to hear. And then just take this like as an input to go into myself. It's like, oh yeah, I really hate sales. I mean, it's a part of my personality, outgoing, I talk to people, but I'm more like a caring person, and people just were pointing on that, like, oh, you're really caring, you just put all your passion, and but you stop selling, you really stop selling, and then I just start to figure out which path I don't want to follow. Like from now on, it's not gonna happen. You can just contact me for sales position. It's not gonna happen. I hate it. And this actually was the biggest input I had from my network, and also like they were really saying like telling it they felt like cared, and they felt like a real partner that you can just start a dialogue and start a really good relationship. Then I started to think, okay, maybe I should follow that path. And then there was another thing that helped me a lot, and they were like, and by the way, you suck on analytics as well. So I'm a bad sales or sucks analytics. but the thing is, like, sales is a personality thing, but analytics is not. I am a linguist with a passion with criminology, but I was really bad at numbers. So the first thing was like, okay, maybe I should start learn the language of the numbers. And then I started to figure out that I wasn't suitable for that jobs before, because I didn't speak the language of my partners or my employer, which was number. So I took everything I could take, like from data science, machine learning, and Tableau. Some of you know Tableau, and I started really like to learn. But I was ignoring before all the voices you have back in your mind, like, oh yeah, don't do that. And my network basically were like putting myself in front of, yeah, you're really bad at that, so start from there, right? So yeah, I just figure out at the end of the day, the network start to give you a positive feedback in the moment you are there, and you put yourself there and you say you are honest, so we get honest feedback. So this is actually my experience I had with all my network till now. More introspective, more to figure out what I want to do or what I don't want to do. Don't ask me stuff for sales something, and to improve myself and grow.
Thank you, Valeria. Hey, Sherry, you want to join and tell us who you are and a little bit about how is your networking and how you refresh your network?
Sure. Yeah. So I as it was mentioned, I think I'm American. I'm from San Francisco, and I spent a long time working in Silicon Valley in brand and marketing roles. And until recently, I was working for Uber here in Amsterdam, where I've been living for a few years. And I recently made a job change earlier this year, and I now work for a brand and innovation consultancy. And I think it's interesting to hear that perspective on networking, as like your network are the people closest to you who you go to hear feedback and hear honest opinion. because I think I always thought about it differently. And actually, I think it hurt me to think about it that way for the long time. I was overwhelmed by the idea of networking because I'm an introvert and I don't like I thought networking is like you go into a room of 100 people and then you have to make friends with all of them and you have to, collect information and leave an impression. And it was a lot of pressure. So I thought that it was like that. And I was more comfortable building relationships one-on-one. I always have like one-on-one friendships, not big groups of friends. And so I think for me, that changed when I realized that actually it's not about having a big network and knowing everybody and making an equal impression on everybody. It is actually about just even a small amount of one-to-one relationships that lead to more one-to-one relationships. That made me feel a lot more comfortable with the idea of networking that could be done in my way. So I think that's my journey, is I've now come to realize it's not, I have to put myself on a big stage, with 100, 200 people network, although maybe some people do it that way.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's very interesting to see already two different points of view. So I'm actually eager to hear Jan's introduction and his point of view on the topic.
Sure. I'm Jan Kaan. I'm a sales manager for a software company, Seattle-based software company, but for the EMEA branch called Skykick. And I joined about a year and a half ago. And I think that was one of my biggest accomplishments, leveraging my network, because I think this is the first job I actually landed by connecting with people through a new network. So I met up with an old colleague who introduced me to a women's network. And through that, I was exposed to a great thing where I met a lot new people that I hadn't met before. So I think in IT, there is a lot of people that you get to know, like in every industry, you get to know certain people and they move around from left to right. But I found out about 2 years ago, there's a lot more to be found in smaller networks or in different networks, more diverse, more different level thinking. And because of that, I was able to create a connection with who is now our HR business partner, and by one of her posts on LinkedIn, was able to connect and eventually landed my job.
Cool. Very cool. So can you tell us a little bit more about, what challenges you have overcome, whilst networking? So I heard already, Sherry, that you were saying that you were introvert. So I suppose, that's kind of a big thing. So maybe can you tell us a little bit more about how you discovered how to sort of change your perspective on networking?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think I just decided, rather than put it off, just to start somewhere, to start even small, rather than go and put myself into networking events or places where I don't feel as comfortable in a large group. That would be challenging for me. That instead I can start by asking the people I am very close to already, my partner, my friends, my boss, even, if I'm close to them, who it is I should meet, who, the people who know me know who I would benefit from meeting. And so then, you get a first step and you meet one person, and that can lead to a second conversation, or then you have control over how much do I want to put in, because I think it to be honest, it takes energy. For me, at least as an introvert, it takes energy, meeting new people, telling them about myself, that takes energy too. So I could do it in small steps, and I could choose, okay, when do I want to ask for more introductions, or do I just want to have one a month, one every 2 months? I could go at my own pace. So I think that helped me realize, I'm in control here, and it's not like I have to do something I really feel is a big challenge for me.
Yeah. And you said that it takes you a lot of energy. So maybe how do you recover? How is this? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing I do, maybe not recovering, but I think something that helps is to kind of just prepare. Like I don't like to be put on the spot as much. So I like to think about, like really how do I talk about myself? What is it I'm like looking for or thinking about? That I think helps beforehand. And then I think to recover, it's just, taking some time to reflect. For me, I would like to go afterwards and take a few minutes and, write some notes. What was interesting? What did I like about this person? What did we connect on? And not putting yourself in a situation where you have to keep more and more and more. All you need, especially if you're looking for a new job, is one person who introduces you to one company or one opportunity, So moderating the volume also helped me recover and feel like, okay, I don't have to just keep, adding people to my network. I can go slower, take my time.
Yeah. So, guys, Valeria or Jan, what do you want to actually say or to answer to that question, and also maybe rebounding on what Sherry is saying?
So maybe you figure out I'm not introvert. A little bit, just so you have like a sixth thing. No, actually, I'm exactly the contrary of Sherry. Like, where I see like masses of people, like it just basically physically jump there, and I love, to. Yeah, I'm an ex-actress, so I'm like, center of attention. It's my thing. It's my drug. The thing is, I got a really nice suggestion for actually a direct sales director years ago, and I apply it every time. He told me that the best sales manager is somebody that stays in the back of your mind. So connecting to what Sherry say, that you need only one person, you need also to stay in the back of the mind of that person. So you can just use your personality, use like even you being introvert and knowing this person really really good, it helps you to go forward and have this other person that can offer you a job. For example, I use like my personality. I'm short, I'm loud, I'm Italian. Like of course, you remember like the little Italians way too loud. So this is my way to stay back in the mind, and I developing like that kind of character. So what I can suggest when you just do networking is to use yourself, to develop your persona, a special persona. Or be honest. I mean, you don't have to be fake, but trying always to be back in the mind, because it happened to me a lot of times that people just contacted me because they remember me and they offer a job. So this is actually, you can select 10 people, or like you can have like 1,000 people, but if you don't stay, like your personality doesn't hit the people, it can be 1 million, but you're gone. So it's not useful.
Yeah, I think I can relate a lot to what Sherry said. So I'm an introvert at heart, which confuses a lot of people, me being in sales. But for me, what really clicked is that when I'm doing my sales, I'm focused on my client, and it's all about the client. And when you network, it's all about yourself and putting yourself out there. And being an introvert, that can be challenging, especially when you're aspiring for a new job or aspiring to build that network. And I think that took a lot of courage and example from other people around me to see, hey, it's okay to be who you are and not to live up to a stereotype or the expectations that some people might have of you because of your career, of your appearance, or whatnot. And also, it took me sort of trying to find my way in various networks. So it doesn't always click. I've never been part of the old boys network, never will, never want to be. But there are various other network out there where you can be part of it and where you can be valued of who you are, what you do, and what you can mean for one another. So that's probably my best advice. Just be who you are and put yourself out there.
Yeah. But I would like to add the thing is like network is not about yourself, it's creating something. So it's like meeting the other people, listen to them as well. So, and this is also like a well-known sales strategy, a sales, like you have to learn and hear the other, because you never know, maybe the other needs something, and then you can start like a relationship with them, and everything expands and you can be successful in it. Makes sense?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I mean, of course, you have you know, if your part of your goal is for others to get to know you, to stay in their mind. But I think the curiosity, like approaching the conversation, not with, okay, what do I need to get? What do I need to say? But really expressing curiosity. Who is this person?
Yes.
You know, what can I learn about them that is surprising to me? That helps relieve maybe that pressure too.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. And can you tell a bit more about, you know, what maybe what you've learned, you know, while networking, you know, like for example, Jan, you were saying, I'm trying to use different and diverse networking. So can you tell more about that experience?
Yeah, I think I'm just a curious person by nature. I just really want to know what makes the other person I'm talking to tick. So, dare to ask questions. Just throw out all the sort of, I don't know, items that you think are no-go areas. Just ask, and you'll get an answer 9 out of 10 times, and it tends to create a bond. I mean, how you and I met, and we had an instant click because we opened up a conversation around various topics. Some are a hit, some are a miss, but you get to learn a lot about each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would also say that I think the relationships that end up serving you well are usually those that are longer term. So you have to really like invest the time in them, and that means not waiting to I network for a quick win. It's that you start now. You start before you need the network. And then, you know, when opportunities present themselves, maybe you are already top of mind, or when you need something, you can reach out. Start before you need it. And, you know, it's like planting seeds.
Yeah.
That maybe one day they become something beautiful, maybe they don't, but you have to plant the seeds before they can, you know, bear fruit.
I totally agree. I mean, it's all relationship based, and at the end of the day, if you just contacted people just because you need something, you will receive like closed door the whole time. So be human. Start like, you know, to show real interest. Sometimes even like how are you? I've just got, for example, during the pandemic, people like just writing me. People I don't talk to since forever, asking me, oh yeah, well, how are you in Barcelona? You just arrived and you're locked down. And I was like, and I remember these people more than people that never contacted me. And one day, if I can help them, I will, because they have been human in that point of my life. So yeah, stay human.
Yeah, and I think also paying it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say, I think it's a lot is also about paying it forward. So I saw a great post by one of my friends, and she posted something. Hey, if you've been hit in your career because of COVID or recent events, if I worked with you in the past, if I can mean to introduce you to someone in my network and a few of these topics, please drop me a line. And I copied the message, and I got such heartwarming sort of conversations with people out of my network that I connected with at some point in my life, and had really open questions saying, hey, I saw that you're connected with this person, could you introduce me? And it also made me sort of realize what a valuable network I already had, and at the same time I could help people out making connection for them. So I think to Sherry's point, yeah, it's I think it's something you need to do ongoing. It needs to be something that has a sincere intention of trying to do something well, not just for yourself, but also for others. Be able to put yourself out there to help others as well when other people need you.
Can you maybe give us some tips of, or like, how do you get or keep in touch with people? You know, like how What are your usual tricks,
Tricks? No. I mean,
or maybe not tricks?
I know. I have. If I just imagine, for example, my LinkedIn network, I have like more than 5,000 people, and again, I'm really shy. And but sometimes I just see like a topic or a post of somebody I know and interest me, and then I take the conversation private and write them privately. Or sometimes I just ask, hey, how are you? How are your projects going? May I help you somehow? It happens the whole time that people, for example, have a project of selling in Amazon. And I know that I love Amazon. I know everything about that. So it's like, oh, maybe I can help you. Like, it takes me like 10 minutes, but it takes you forward. And these people, like, they will just, come back. So it was everything we said before, just show a natural and honest interest to the people, even if you have to ask, how are you? I mean, we have been in a pandemic. There's a lot of people that maybe have been through some tragedy, or maybe they felt alone. So yeah, that's the simplest is the best sometimes.
Yeah, I would just add that I mean, LinkedIn makes some type of this helpful in the sense that, you'll hear about people's professional milestones. But I think those, when people are have had something significant professionally and you hear about that, I think always checking in to see how it's going and wish them luck, or, doing that one-on-one, I think goes a long way. But I also think there's something, the more you get to know people, that beyond just the professional news, other personal things about somebody or that you connect on. For example, one of my mentors is Jewish, and he had, recently Rosh Hashanah. So I email him usually when I think of Rosh Hashanah, I think of him and I email him. And, and that's like an opportunity at least once a year, just because I genuinely, I'm reminded of him. So, why not? That takes me 30 seconds to send him that email, and we keep connected because of that. So I think there's professional and personal things. And, even in between those times, if I think of somebody, I like to just check in, but I usually do that one-to-one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's corny, but I see a lot of these anniversaries or like birthdays or X number of years in a row, and that always reminds me, oh, yeah, I need to reach out. So I would send a personal message. And what I do see happening more and more on LinkedIn, people sharing more personal stories. So not just a post, hey, we've launched a new product, and all these very commercial things that don't really trigger anything with me, but more personal things that I think, okay, hey, this is worth commenting on, knowing that if I comment on it, it will be exposed to my network as well, and might mean something positive for this person, whilst it's also a genuine interest for me in that specific person or what he or she is going through.
Yeah. And actually, we were talking about LinkedIn, and do you? So that's very much online, and I suppose with the COVID, it's very much well, everybody talks about online world. What are your tips outside, and do you actually use other kind of network, social media to network?
For working, I think that like in affiliate marketing, the life is different. So there is a lot of LinkedIn, but for example, I have like 99% of my partners and my colleagues and so on Facebook and Instagram. So we just, everything that is not professional anymore, just to start to be your family. So yeah, I use it. It wasn't easy to do that because I'm really start to mix professional and personal, but at the end is what I was saying before, like be as much human as you can and being personal with your partners. It's a good point of view. So I use Facebook and Instagram as well.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to hide.
Yeah,
I tried. Oh, go ahead. No.
I was just going to say before this year, and when I was looking for new jobs more, I definitely tried to meet people in person just to make more impression and more contact, and there's much more opportunity to create connection, I think, in person. So, even going to someone's office for a coffee or having them over or meeting in the morning for breakfast or something like that, I think that can go a really long way if it's a relationship you really want to nurture. You can't do that really on, there's only so much you can do on LinkedIn or on social media, I think.
Yeah, one of the things I use is I try to give myself 1 or 2 training courses a year, something small like a 1-day training or a 2 or 3-day workshop on a topic that just interests me. And that tends to attract different type of people or people with the same interest but with a completely different background. And I always end up with a few friends at the end of the day that I keep connected with through other social. Me being an introvert, I do like all the online stuff that I can access it whenever I have the time and energy to do so. And that works really well for me. So I think apart from learning something new, it's also a very good way to get to know new people.
And sometimes also taking that share from Sherry, being like trying to go offline sometimes, even if you can just send like a card written like by hands. For example, I had a partner and she was getting married and I bought like a card and I sent her like, just a little message and I sent it to her and she was surprised because it never happened. So you don't have to do that to everybody because, it costs money. But if with, the partners or the contacts you like the most, so like you feel more connected, you can just go like the extra mile. And I think it's like something that stays forever in the in their memories.
Cool. So it sounds like it's a tip. So could you like maybe share? Do you have do we have any questions from the audience? I don't see anything so far. So maybe we can share some tips to the audience. Like what is your top tip? To network.
I can give a tip of stop faking success. Be as much honest as you can. And if you want to share, for example, your failures with your networks, you will surprise how many people they are ready to embrace that and, develop empathy with you. I've been sharing like, some weakness and some failures with my networks. And I got to think, people writing me private, like, oh, I can see myself in your story. And it touched me so deep. And it was amazing. So just stop faking success. Now we say in LinkedIn, for example, or Instagram, whatever, like this huge post like, oh, I just get $3 million in 10 seconds, click here to know why. Stop it. So don't do it. It's awful. Just, be yourself and don't be ashamed to share your weakness and your dark spots.
Yeah, I love that. And I would just add to that, we said you start early and start anywhere. And in addition, I think to embrace that discomfort, you can be honest also, not only about failures, but about where you are. And maybe you don't, I used to think, okay, before I meet someone new, I need to know exactly what I'm looking for, exactly what I want from them. I have to have the whole story clear. But I think actually part of networking is getting new perspectives and figuring out what you really are looking for. And so being honest also about where you are in your process or in your journey, what's on your mind. It doesn't have to be like a perfect polished, like the LinkedIn post. It can be really honest and true to what's on your mind. That's maybe more interesting than the resume,
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to both of you. I think one of the most fun things I did before we went live, we talked about improv. So I had an improv session with my team once, and it was all, of course, in companies it's always about, okay, what have we achieved as a team and reflecting on that. And through improv, we had the complete opposite. We stood in a circle, and we would sort of tell each other how we fucked up. So you would say, "Oh, I screwed this up," and then the whole group would say, "I fucked up, and that's okay." And then that sort of went round. So that was a very sort of liberating thing for everyone to do, because everyone fucks up from time to time. Let's face it. So that was good to do. And I think the other thing is, to Sherry's point, yeah, if you don't put out there what you want to achieve, or how uncomposed that message might be, if you don't put it out there, then no one can hear you, no one can give you feedback on your question, or to make it more precise, or to question you further. So yeah, just put yourself out there, let the people know what you're looking for, what you're trying to achieve, and I think it will come your way one way or another.
Yeah. So it looks like we have a question as well now.
Yeah.
Do you have, guys, any tips for networking with completely unknown connections you'd like to work with?
Jump. If you want something and you want to connect with somebody, just jump. Go out of your comfort zone, because it's where magic happens. Where we're figuring out the other connection. It's just a person. What can happen? I mean, don't be shy, and if you really want it, just do it. Simple as that.
Yeah, or find someone that's connected to that person, and see if you get an introduction. That's what I would always try to do. And otherwise, yeah, I would just send a message saying, "Hey, sorry to be so frank and blunt, but I have a question. Could you help me with X, Y, and Z?"
Yeah, I agree. And I'm, maybe think about how to make that message stand out, because we all get LinkedIn messages. Sometimes they feel very generic, and you don't know, did this person send this message to 100 other people? But is there something about that person, about the company, that is interesting to you? Is there something you think that, a point of view or something you can offer that really sets it apart? It catches the attention, rather than just, asking for an introduction or connection.
Cool. All right. Is there any, when have you tried to network and it didn't go so well?
You got a minute?
I'm trying to recall.
Multiple events.
Yeah, it could be actually.
Yeah, I remember moving to Barcelona actually to study, and I thought, oh, Spanish people being open and whatnot. So there I sat front row trying to absorb what was being taught, and forgot that the teachers are also at liberty to teach in Catalan instead of Castellano. So of course I was completely clueless to what happened, and I tried to reach out to fellow Spanish students who thought I was that funny foreign guy that was way too tall and way too blonde. So yeah, that's just one of the many examples I think I can have where I really, really tried and wanted to become part of a network, and it didn't go down that well.
My examples are probably when I really tried to make it work with someone who I just didn't like or didn't click with, Not everybody has the same instant connection, but I thought, okay, this person's really important. I have to really force a relationship that's just not naturally there. So I think that, yeah, trying to force it and trying to look at the person as a company and as a title, rather than as a human being that you really want to know and you really are excited to spend time with.
Yeah. I agree to share. It happened once. I think to me, I was, looking for a specific person because it was a huge potential client. And I physically ran behind him for, I think, half an hour. So you can imagine this huge guy, 2 meters, and this little chihuahua going back, running behind. He was like, "Stop it. I will never work with you." I was beginning my sales career. I told you I really suck. So, but the scene was extremely fun for it's outside, seeing this guy running away from me. But I wasn't chasing, actually. I wasn't considering the person that could be annoyed. I was like the typical sales manager you really hate. So yeah, that's wasn't going well.
Yeah.
So did he get a restraining order against you, or?
Yeah. I mean, every time I just called him, he was like hanging up, and I think like fifth time he just, I stopped. I just took the hint, basically.
All right. So it looks like, is there any other thing that you would like to share, guys, that you felt like, oh, maybe I didn't share this, and yeah, I'd like to share it now,
Yes. From my side, there's something also that the network can help you. It's still about, what you want to be, or what, working and talking to my network, it helped me to understand what I wanted to be in my life. So yeah, I told at the beginning, they were like telling me, yeah, you're not good at this, but also they had asked me for help several times, and then I figured out that this is actually what I wanted to be, like, be a partner, be an account management, and help my partners to be successful. And then I took the path, and that's what I do right now, and I'm super happy. So yeah, just try to, you help people, but at the same time you help yourself, because then you figure out what you want and what you don't want. That's my point.
Thank you. Anything from you?
I think I mentioned it before, but I would just say again that the best place to start is with the people who know you well, and to ask each person you have, and that initial list of close friends or close acquaintances, who, what's on your mind, what you're thinking about, and ask them, who do you think, do you know anyone that you think I should meet? It makes it so easy for them to make an introduction, and it's probably someone, who could be valuable to you. So building the network that way, rather than trying to skip ahead to the title or the company or the specific person you think you need to meet. Start through those links in your network.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think for me it's an open invitation to anyone listening to this or watching the recording. If you still have a question that you didn't get to ask or didn't dare to ask, just reach out, drop us a line. Happy to answer any of your questions.
Yeah. And so, I wanted to thank you very much for all those tips. I think one thing I will really remember is like about being yourself and being honest, and that it is a relationship, and there it's a two-way thing. Like that's and so that I really enjoyed being with you guys. And Empower Your Career is something that we do every other week. So the next show is in 2 weeks on the October 13th, and it's going to be about personal branding, and the moderator will be Clarissa. So yeah, don't hesitate to comment on the chat, and I'm sure Valeria, Sherry, and Jan will be very happy to answer your question. So thank you very much. I'm Anne, and I'm very happy to have been there with you, all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, guys.